Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be working on my 1963 F100, and behind me on the table I've got a full disc brake conversion for front and rear. I'm going to take you through it all, rough cost of it all, and then what we're replacing. So let's get started. So what we have is a full kit for the front from Speedway Motors and a kit for the rear as well for another company. I will show you the name of it because I don't want to mispronounce it, but this is a Speedway Motors front disc brake conversion kit for a 55 through 64 F100. For those of you who don't know, this is my 63 F100. It is powered by a turboed 300 inline 6, backed by a 5-speed transmission with overdrive. The truck was originally a wrong bed, converted over to a regular straight bed. It's got an 8.8 rear end, straight axle front. It's been axle flipped, both front and rear. But like I said, we're working on doing a front disc brake conversion along with a rear disc brake conversion. So this kit, this table here is looking, it's probably going to set you back somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,100. We have single piston front calipers, all the mounting hardware and brackets, new races, bearings, pads, lines, brackets for the lines, everything, slide pins. Not included in the kit, but there is a power booster and a dual brake reservoir, also for 55 through 64 F100. Also comes with all the hardware for mounting it. And that's pretty much it. So now with this engine, we have boost. So the vacuum booster, we're not going to use just yet until we get a vacuum pump put on the engine. And I'm not super worried about getting that put on right now. 4-wheel disc brakes, even manual, is going to be better than, well, no brakes. So now the rear, what we're running underneath the rear of this truck is an 8.8 rear end from an 80 through early 90s 8.8. That rear end, and I know, why didn't I go with a 9-inch? The matter of the fact was it's money. But I had that rear end. It's a completely fresh rear end. It's all been rebuilt and gone through. This rear end kit was made by a company. Again, I don't want to mispronounce anything, but Little Shop Manufacturing. That's the company. And they had a full bolt-on kit for an 8.8 rotors, which you could upgrade to drilled and slotted. And you could upgrade to the stainless braided lines, both of which, again, poor boy couldn't do it. They've got really nice powder-coated brackets. They're all drilled and tapped, so you don't have any nuts or hardware sticking out. This is something else. Does not go with the kit. Again, single piston rear calipers. All the hardware for the lines to mount, spacer, I'm assuming, to space your bracket out if you need to align your calipers. So yeah, the kit looks pretty nice. I mean, kind of going through everything. It's got nice hardware, both front and rear. This was about $500 on their site. And again, all this was about $500 to $600 as well. This kit utilizes rotors from like a bull nose to arrow nose era rotor. I believe these are 76 Impala brake calipers, and I thought these were as well, but I don't know. They're obviously different. They're way smaller. They may be from some other pickup truck. I do remember distinctively when I bought them that I bought them because they were an off-the-shelf part along with those. I don't remember exactly what they were off the shelf, but I can go, right back to the website, look, and see what it is. The rotors, probably do have to order from them. So if you're hard on brakes, I'd order another set before they're gone. But yeah, we've already gone ahead and knocked off the brakes on the front. Still have to pull the backing plate off. There is no lines or hardware anywhere on the truck, so we don't have to worry about any of that. That's all gone. The rear end as well, we've already knocked off the backing plates, drums, all that stuff. So we're going to clean that stuff all up. And we're going to have to test fit everything because the kits do state that some stock steel wheels will not fit properly. So That is a 70s steel wheel. It's not off of a 60s truck like this one. And the 60s trucks, they were a little bit acorn looking and they were a little bit narrow. So I could see why this brake kit wouldn't exactly fit on that stuff. But we're going to go through, we're going to loosely bolt everything on, kind of mock it all up, and see what kind of clearance we have. I brought one wheel with me of the new. These are the old wheels off the truck and some old, rotted, just dummy tires. I wouldn't run anything that aggressive on this truck personally. But yeah, so we're going to get everything sort of loosely bolted up. Just one side. We're going to do this side over here because we have more room. We're going to clean everything up. Go ahead and remove the backing plates. The poor thing's covered in mud. You got to ignore that. From when I trailered it down, the poor trailer doesn't have fenders and it threw mud all over it. But yeah, we're going to go ahead, get everything bolted up. So this truck right now, I've given myself a loose budget to get this truck pulling its own weight. It might not be totally done and ready, but it'll be insured and registered. And if I can drive it a mile down the road to the Dollar General, or I can drive it, to whatever. If I can drive it around my little town or go sort of putting around the back roads for a while until I am able to really finish everything, that is perfectly fine with me right now. I've got but what will blow the budget is if I have to purchase wheels to clear these brakes. So that's going to be a big determining factor here. If I have to order a set of wheels and tires and I have to go up to a 17 or a 16. And for those of you who may be curious about using an 80s axle underneath a 60s truck with the regular bed, this axle is 3 inches wider than the factory axle. That being said, you have very, very tight fender to wheel clearance. Now, again, those tires are a little aggressive, but the offset is, they're only a 7-inch wide wheel. And fairly wide tire. I would usually go with something with a little bit of a narrower tread pattern for something that looks like this. This isn't going to be I'd rather fry some skinny tires on the back than go hacking a whole bunch of stuff out to fit a big tire right now. That may change in the future, but yeah. So we're gonna get some things mocked on and bolted up, and you can tag along with me for that. All right, guys. So with a little bit of test fitting, I think we're in the clear. Like, I'm super stoked about this because I've gone through. I'm going to show you here in just a second. I've mocked everything up sort of loosely. It's all bolted down tight. It's all on there, but it's sort of a loose mock-up because I had to make sure that these 15-inch wheels were going to fit. They're a little dirty, but they are freshly powder coated. They're only, I think, a 6. I had them on this truck in high school. I want them on this truck again. I've got some really nice center caps up there to fit them. So that's the look I want again. But this rear disc brake kit fits really, really nice. The caliper obviously has to come out a little bit, but it's not going to come out past this face. So again, there's no issues there. I had probably 3/8 of an inch of clearance. And that leaves me some room for some wiggle room. But, it all fits really nice. Fits in the 15-inch wheel. Really, really sweet. Brake line comes up there. There's a holder that bolts on as well to hold the brake line. And the fronts go on really well, really nice as well. Yeah, these are a 73 to 97, I think this is what the brochure says. Front rotor. You do have to change out the outer race to get it to tighten down properly. The rear race is fine. The outer race has to be changed. Again, caliper and everything went on nice. I'm having an issue with the spot. Maybe I'm having troubles, and it may be an installation error on my part. Both calipers, front and rear, are hitting the brackets in the same spot, which is ironic because they're two totally different companies. So I'm going to go back through, clean everything up really well. I'm going to take the rest of the day, get everything cleaned up really well. Pull this stuff obviously all back off. Probably paint these calipers. Paint the center of this rotor. Maybe just the face. I usually like to paint the face of them so they don't rust. clean everything up behind it, clean the ends of the axles up, and just sort of hit them with some black. Like I said, clean everything behind this, get the 60 years of grime off of them, and then I'll let you guys tag along while I'm completely going through and assembling them. But that was just kind of a little preview of you know, what I'm going to be doing to this truck over the next couple of weeks. Trying to throw on some goodies, get fuel system. We got to get a fuel system plumbed. Got to get a return line for the turbo to the pan plumbed. Got to get all of the brake hardware ran, so all the lines got to be made, all that stuff. Still have a bunch of wiring to do. Got to put taillights in it, headlights in it. As soon as that fitting gets here for the oil pan, we get it welded in. It's got some run time on it, but it's like, you know, putting a little bit of oil in the turbo, and it ran for like 4 to 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So I want to get the fitting done, get some good idle time on it, change the oil, things like that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and post this one up, just a little preview. And tomorrow I'm going to come in, clean up a little bit in the shop, and start assembling. So stick around.